Budgeting can be really daunting if you don't have a system in place that works for your finances, for yourself, for your family. I was there about a year ago. I used to budget myself monthly, and no matter what I would do, I felt like something was always not working the way I wanted it to. A month before I became a stay-at-home mom, I decided to change my strategy to budget paycheck by paycheck, and it changed the game for me to the point that it gave me the confidence to just quit my job and focus on my family. In this video, I want to show you exactly how I do that. But before we start, I do want to stress that this is not something I came up with. I actually learned this from Kamiko Love. She is from The Budget Mom here on YouTube. I'm going to link her channel down below in case you're interested. I followed her footsteps in terms of budgeting, and now a year later, I've tried to simplify it because I noticed I only use part of it instead of like the whole system that she puts in place. So let's get started. All right, so I'm going to try to explain this while my toddler is watching Bluey in my room. She's being fed, so hopefully she lets me. But I wanted you to see June 2024. This is what I wrote on my budget planner. I did it. I can't believe it. Sometimes you lose sight that you actually achieved some of your dreams, and it's just like, this brings me back. I did it. All right, so a year later, I'm still living on one income household. Jaylee's realized I'm talking to the camera, so she is going to want to be part of this. This is how this budget planner from The Budget Mom looks like. It's very bulky. I actually like it. No complaints at all. I enjoyed it a lot. However, it does cost $50 since I just don't have the money for it. So it's a huge planner. With this, I realized my income versus my expenses, and I realized that I had an expense problem versus an income problem. And so it was a matter of cutting down my expenses enough for me to live on one income. And this is how I decided to budget that paycheck in order to be able to pay all the bills on time. So I'm gonna show you what I've done. This is actually how it looks like. But I realized what I've been using about this planner is actually the whole calendar, like the overview of the whole month is the thing that helps me. Writing down when each bill comes out helps me plan a week at a time. So my husband gets paid every Friday, so which makes it easier, right? Let's say you're getting paid every 2 weeks, so then you'll plan every 2 weeks, right? Because it's per paycheck. So for example, at the time of this video, I'm filming this on the 13th. So I'm planning to pay the bills between the 14th and the 19th. This paycheck should cover all of these bills. Not the 20th, because this is already the new paycheck. So it's gonna be from Friday all the way to Thursday, so actually 7 days. Now on the Budget Mom planner, you have this section where you put how much the bill is going to be versus how much you paid. I actually use that the most, but I can simplify it by just writing down how much the bill is going to be and then figuring out how much I need from that paycheck. Now, something that I'm not writing here because I already know is that I split my mortgage payment into all paychecks because it's a big amount and none of these paychecks cover the mortgage on just one swoop. So what I do is I split the mortgage. Actually, it's $1,600 a month. So I split it between $400 every single week, and that gets added to this. So all I have to do when I'm doing my calculations is have this number and add 400, and I already know if I have enough. My husband's paycheck fluctuates, so it makes this a little bit challenging, but I actually give him this number, or the total number, this plus 400, and that's how we work it out. I would say, hey, this week we need at least this amount of money to be able to pay the bills plus cover the mortgage payment, and then he will go and say, okay, so maybe I have to do more hours. He can actually do overtime at his job, so it's very helpful. So that week he will say, okay, so then maybe I'm staying a little longer in order to cover the bills. Now, things that I do when it's not enough to cover the bills. That actually happens, right? Sometimes I need, for example, this week I needed $729 plus the 400, which is $11.29, right? Which is $11.29. And he got paid $11.65, I think it was. So what I do is I just know that in order for us to pay the bills, I may not be able to save the $400 that I wanted for the mortgage. And then I would just pass whatever amount I can. And I know that I have to, for the next paycheck, I will have to make that up. Now, if you've noticed, each week I don't have a big lump sum amount of bills. So for example, we keep it under the 500 amount. So this week I'll need 424 to just pay the bills. This other week I'll need only 401 to pay the bills. Of course, that's not including the mortgage payment, so you have to add that 400. So instead of 424, it's 824. Instead of 401, it'll be 801, which is fine. He actually gets paid about that amount a week. In order to get food, sometimes he does get paid a little bit more. So then if he has, during that week we have some extra, then I will plan our food bill around it. For example, if he has $100, $200 that week, then I'll know I'll have to spend that amount of money in gas and food and so on. On the weeks that I do need food and I don't have enough for the bills and the $400 for the mortgage payment, then I'll just use that mortgage payment amount that I was supposed to, and I'll try to make it up. It doesn't happen often where we are like super scrunched up that we cannot make the mortgage payment, and for that I give the glory to God. He always provides, man. And sometimes we'll be like, oh my gosh, maybe we're a little bit too close to not make the mortgage payment completely, you know, like very close but not like the full payment, and boom, a bonus comes in or something comes in and it's just, we're able to pay the mortgage. So I don't know, I just have to be very grateful because I know he has our back. I know God has our back. Now, things that you can do in order to work the system, right? I have two things on the back of my mind in case things don't work out. Number one, I can pay my mortgage payment on the 16th without incurring late fees. So that gives me 15 extra days to pay my mortgage without having to pay a little bit more extra, which gives me a little bit of leeway in case we are a little bit behind and we have to wait like another week. So we'll just be like a week behind in the mortgage payment. That's like the danger zone, I call it. Now, worst case scenario is paying the mortgage at least 30 days out of the due date. If I pay it before the 30-day mark, that would not affect my credit. If I pass the 30 days, then things are really wrong. But thank God it hasn't happened that way. But I know, mommy. Oh my God, my toddler. My toddler. Listen, Louis is not entertaining enough if I'm talking to the camera. Okay, so I was saying, wait, what was I saying? Oh, okay, so to summarize it, if you pay your mortgage before the 30-day mark, your credit won't be affected. Yes, you will have to pay your late fee, but at least it's something you can fall on in case things go wrong. Now, the other thing that I can do, I don't know if you noticed, but there is 1 week out of my month that I have to pay a lot more in bills than other weeks. So for example, 1 week I have around 700 compared to 400 in other weeks. Something that you can also do, and I don't think a lot of people know this, is that you can call the company where you're struggling to pay the bill, right? Let's say a big example is my husband's Harley. He has a motorcycle, Harley Davidson, and during that week so many bills come up, like our solar panels, the Harley Davidson, kind of 2 credit cards. I can actually move one of these bills, either the solar panels or the Harley Davidson. I feel like the Harley Davidson might be the fastest or the easiest to change, but you can actually call the company and ask them to change the due date to another date where it's more comfortable for you, and that will maybe help you manage or plan your budget accordingly to your paycheck. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't know they can do, and yes, you can absolutely do this. So your next payment could be higher or less depending on how far off you move it from the due date, but it's just going to take a month or two, not more than that, in order to balance itself out. Now, this new planner, I got it from Target. It's actually very cheap. It cost me, compared to this one cost me about $50 something with shipping. This one cost me 14 bucks, and it's actually really good. I'm going to be using this more often, and like I said, I'm just going to use it the way I normally use this budget planner. I don't use everything off this. So for July, I will start putting all the bills that are due. Now for June, I put it in on this section right here because this planner is from July to June, so they just had this extra month here for me. But on the month of July, I will have some extra space for each week like this, and this is where maybe on the top here I can put the total with more space in order to know exactly what I'm gonna pay and, you know, to know the total. Now, this is my simple way of budgeting. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comment section below. I feel like the more simple you make it, the easier it will be to maintain it, you know, and to keep track of it. Now, that's it for today because my teller won't let me film anything else. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments again if you have any questions or if there's anything I can clarify. Mommy. Mama. Okay. Tissue. Can you please entra? Tissue. Don't forget to give me a thumb.